Lots of questions about Ukraine, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So good news on this front. It's clear to me, both publicly and privately, that Donald Trump does not want this killing to continue. Most politicians they give you that, oh, yeah, but they don't really care. I mean, Putin couldn't care less how many people die. The Chinese don't care. But something in Trump emotionally doesn't want this. And I believe that. And I know him well enough to give you that assessment. Okay, so Ukraine, after being cajoled and threatened and booted around, has agreed to a 30-day ceasefire. Now, it took place in Saudi Arabia yesterday. We covered it. And then in the 30 days, there would be extended negotiations to end the war. Putin has not agreed yet. All right? I think Putin will agree, but he's going to be a pain in the butt every step of the way because he's evil. That's it. He is. And again, he doesn't care how many people die or babies are maimed, or he couldn't care less about his own people. And at the end of this broadcast, in this day in history, I'm going to prove that case. Okay, all right. Now, a guy named Steve Witkoff, 67 years old, real estate billionaire. They say, I don't think he's a billionaire, but he's very wealthy, and he's a friend of Trump, personal friend. He is the point man of Putin. Now, Witkoff has been effective. He's been effective talking to the people in the Middle East, and he's a good negotiator. Trump trusts him. Whether he gets through to Putin or not, I don't know. But it is in Putin's great interest to stop this madness. But Putin has to walk away with some kind of win because that's the kind of evil person he is. Now, I predicted on May 6th of 2024, this would happen. Go. Trump will govern the same way he governed the first time around. He'll make deal after deal after deal. I believe that Trump would get Putin to the table on Ukraine. Okay, I believe that. And Biden, of course, wasn't even close to getting Putin anywhere in a discussion. Putin wouldn't even take his phone calls, just so you know the history of this. Now, after the blow-up with Zelensky in the White House on March 3rd, here's what I said again. Go. So going forward, which is the most important thing now, I think a deal is going to happen. All right? When Trump, if you follow his history, if you read the United States of Trump, a lot of times this happens. The deal seems like it's going to never happen, and then all of a sudden it happens. Presto. I'm not a genius. I just know the players and the world. All right? I know the many better than anyone else as a journalist. Okay? And you know, if you're watching the No Spin News on a regular basis, listening on the radio, you know that I know. But I don't know whether this war in Ukraine is going to stop forever. I think it will stop. And I think a deal will be made. Putin could break the deal. But what's the alternative? There is no alternative. It's all about Putin, not about Zelensky. But the USA will get the mineral deal. Now puts us there. Okay? Very important part of this. Okay. Now, both Trump and Putin are boxed in. This is fascinating. Putin doesn't make a deal, Trump's got to hurt him. And Trump will. He'll crush him economically every way he can. Putin knows that. But Putin almost has to make a deal. If Putin reneges on the deal after making it, again, Trump will go after him. Trump has to go after him. Though they're both boxed in. Keep that in mind. Now, this is an incredible display. And again, this is NBC News Comcast. I don't really care what Rachel Maddow says. I've never picked on her. I don't belittle her. She gets a decent audience. You've got to be an absolute progressive lunatic to watch her, but there are 2 million of them. And what Ms. Maddow says, she's entitled to say. But last night, after the ceasefire announcement, was very disturbing. Go.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said this plan is all good to go. As far as he's concerned, he just has to go run it by Russia now. Sit tight here for a second. I got to go check with my manager. I'm sure it'll all be fine. Apparently, the way the Trump administration is running their deal by the big guy, running the deal by the boss, is that they're sending Donald Trump's real estate friend, Steve Witkoff, to go meet personally in Russia with Vladimir Putin to get his okay, to run the whole end the war plan by Putin. Steve's going to do it. Steve's great. Steve's a real estate guy. So I'm sure it's going to go great.
Snide, off the chart. Ms. Maddow conveniently forgets that Witkoff got Mark Fogel released, who Putin had in jail. American Mark Fogel, who was at the address that Trump gave, okay, with his 95-year-old grandmother who asked Trump to get Fogel released. Witkoff did that. And it's snide. I'm not going to do a personal thing. Has it gall to say that? The other thing about it is that far left person has objected to pretty much every war ever that the United States has been engaged in. Maybe she didn't object to World War II. I don't know. But every contemporary, no. Bush is this, Cheney's that. But now, it's okay, let's keep that war going in Ukraine. Yeah, let's keep it going. Ooh. So I'm Comcast, right? And I'm watching this. I got to say something. I wouldn't fire her or suspend her. I wouldn't do any of that. But I'd say something. Now, this is another insane thing. New York Times White House correspondent is a guy named Peter Baker. Here's what he says. Go.
Everything that Russia wants, it seems to be getting. It would get sanctions lifted. It would, if Trump had his way, they'd even be readmitted to the G7. I don't think it's going to happen. But everything that Trump has talked about has been toward Putin's version of a peace and not toward Ukraine.
There is no Ukraine version of peace, you pinhead. Okay, Ukraine can't stop the war, can't win the war, can only lose the war. Only person who can stop the war is Putin. That's it. Unless you want to send American troops in there and NATO troops. You want to do that? Now, this guy Baker, he knows better. He knows the only person on the planet who can stop this is Putin. Yet he lies to the audience because that's what he's told to do. That's what the culture is. Whatever Trump does is bad. Even if Trump wants to stop the war, it's bad. Awful. That's the memo. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on X. Look for @Bill O'Reilly.